5 minutes past 9. It's a Monday morning. It's the 30th, that is of October, and of course, it's quite a cold one. And in case I can really understand how a little bit difficult it can be when it comes to getting back to work. But of course, away from work, and this brings us back to the discussions that we have actually been onto the show all the way we started at 7 a.m. on matters to do with how best can you actually balance your work with a side hustle. But definitely, we saw quite a number of factors in that way in trying to see ways on how you can actually balance up your work with a side hustle. And I remember part of the discussions included matters to do with setting realistic expectations in some sort of whereby it's very important that you don't dedicate quite a lot of time to your side hustle, since it is still a young initiative. In other words, still just growing out of the way to something. If you dedicate more hours to it, you might actually lose focus for your current job, which is really giving you the foundation for you to actually have that side hustle. Quite a number of that. And maybe briefly, we also reviewed some of the few statistics smarter. For example, a 2023, that is a Zapier survey, which found out that the average side hustler actually spends about 12 hours per week on the time. And also a 2022 bank rate survey, which found out that 43% of the majority of the people globally, 43% of the full-time workers have actually side hustles. This is a 2022 survey, just recent, the bank rate. And also a 2021 Vista Print survey, which found out that 61% of Americans, of course, it can apply to Americans, but also a little bit extend to Europe and Africa at some time, believe that the current generation actually needs a side business for money. And now this is well researched statistics globally supporting the aspects that we've been discussing about. Well, for this matter, I'm definitely joined with Jen Kasumba, and she's going to, of course, break this further, and I believe she's going to another direction, another dimension about this particular discussion. And I understand you've been in the sector of work for quite a while, and you really know what this entails, most especially to a young person that is aspiring to be something.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and good morning to you.
Good morning.
I was watching the show in the morning, since the wee hours of the morning, and it's
Exactly.
very informative. And the way you said that I've been in the work sphere for quite some time. My goodness,
Exactly.
I can't tell my age. No. But I think I think this is an issue, and I think that's why people choose to watch Smart24, choose to watch driving business on Smart24, because we really want to get real. We don't want to be superficial when it comes to business. People need a side hustle.
People need to say.
And there's no shame in having a side hustle. There's no shame whatsoever. And I know the issue of whether to concentrate on your main job vis-a-vis a side hustle. A side hustle should be your own thing.
Your own thing.
If you do not own your business, if that business is not yours this morning, Andrew, plan for your exit. Be attached to a side hustle that is yours 101%. And I know you don't agree with that 100%. I think, according to, in my own opinion, I think having a sustainable side hustle is important. Something that you own, something that you can control. Because one day you will wake up and you are not the same person anymore. One day you will wake up and you'll have to retire. One day your company might close down. One day they might have to downsize. You must concentrate a lot on trying to be your own boss.
Maybe something, Jen, small about that. You know, the only issue I normally tend to have here is matters to do with, you know, some people, like the aspect of setting realistic expectations for the side hustle. Remember, the reason that's why you're having the side hustle is because you have the money from your current job that you're working on, and it so comes in some sort of a way that you lack adequate organization and you lose focus.
That's why I think that is important, because they say you cannot be, you can't do two things at the same time and do it well. I think that's why you see many a time people start a side hustle. If it's doing well, you might find people actually migrating from their main time to the business solution of your choice. My name is Jane Kasumba. I'm a commercial lawyer, that's what I do, and I'm a broadcaster as well. Business Insight tackles those nitty-gritties when it comes to business so that you, at the end of the day, can make those necessary business decisions in order to ensure a successful and fruitful business.
So, I love
Perhaps whether you should close it. Is in modern day business, the year 23. You know, there's a statement in Uganda. There's a quote here in Uganda that says, "Government mutuyambe." You know that? You know that quote?
Yes, everyone's.
Yeah, you know that quote.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you know, I mean, the trash is over there. I mean, government mutuyambe. The pothole there, government mutuyambe. Yeah, the government is supposed to provide particular services, and then municipality heads are supposed to provide particular services to the people, but they can't provide everything all the time. So it's important for you to be self-sufficient and self-sustaining to improve your life. Sharon, what is a side hustle? What if someone is talking about work? What fits into what we call a side hustle?
Okay, so a side hustle, we're talking about somebody who is already fully employed. Yeah. So a side hustle is something that you're able to do as you balance with work. And it can help you earn, but also above all, you enjoy to do what you're doing. Because in most cases, you'll have a formal job, but you're looking for something that is also that you're very excited about. Because at times when you're getting a job, it's about the money, it's about putting food on the table, you know, or even stature, position, things like that. But a side hustle is more passion driven, and you're excited to do this. Whether there's no trophy at the end of the day, it's just something that is going to make ends meet, but also help you reach a certain goal at a specific time. That's what I would call a side hustle. But why would it be necessary? Jen, in the times that we are in, additional income is very important.
And I think that is something we have to stress, and I talked about it before. Getting real when it comes to business. It's not just in Uganda, but across the world, starting to feel the pinch, they're starting to feel the crunch. Of course, we've come out of COVID. We're now into almost 2 global wars. The one in Ukraine and Russia, the one in Palestine and Israel. All those affect chain. Delivery, supply, affect international business and inwardly affect us. How important is it, Sharon, right now for a person who's working, perhaps who's watching this show? It is 9:15 in Kampala, in South Africa. How important is it for them to take their own financial destiny in their hands?
It's like I said earlier, additional income is necessary, but also diversifying your income. Like a whole season of things. Who were laid off, those who didn't have the privilege to stay in their jobs. Some, their salaries were cut half. But I mean, in COVID, we're even eating much more. People had more babies. There's certain things that remain as a standard, so you also need to diversify your income. Not only add on it, but have streams of income. somebody would say, pursue your passion, or develop your skills, get something to do that excites you. So it is important, but also above all, the whole entrepreneur experience, for you to know I focused on something and I got it done from start to accomplishment. Some people have not experienced hustles give you that kind of experience. Yeah. But also networking and diversifying yourself, because when you're a business owner, Jen, pride and everything to go to impress person, you're everything.
You're the HR manager.
You to know your weaknesses for starters. Like for me, my weakness was very impatient. So in the events industry, if you're impatient, how are you going to manage your teams? So I had to learn that's terrible about me. So I need to. I've never known if I was not self-employed in a side hustle. But also, somebody could say sometimes we independence for you to also be able to say, I'm going to wake up at midday, I'm going to wake up at 9, I'm going to work till in control, putting in the work. Honestly, Jen, for me, before I started the side hustle, I didn't know that we really cheat our employees. You see, when you're fully employed, you keep feeling it's targets, and you check yourself based on that. You never push yourself unless you're doing a job that you're really, really passionate about. And that's like a very small percentage of people who are actually fully employed. So when you are, you've been cheating on time. They say employed because you're looking for time, but then you discover that you're working almost 24 hours. And an operator, Jen, you give me your event, I'm going to sleep and I'll be dreaming about it. Even when I'm asleep, I'm thinking, so are the trees, when we paint them, will they be, or it will be gray? Yeah. Should I buy some type of paint, or we need a certain kind of spray paint? Like, you're dreaming, you're executing even in your sleep. So the truth is, in our side hustles, we're actually more productive.
Okay. Now, when you name things, it gives us the gravitas of that thing. When you mention the word side hustle, it doesn't look too serious. It looks like you're playing around. Yeah. It looks like it's not that important. How important is a side hustle? And should we actually change the name of side hustle?
I think so.
Should it be maybe being your own boss initiative? I mean, what should it be?
Like
how important is it?
Because from you having a side hustle, the impact they have on an individual, on a family, on a household, on an environment that you're in, the impact is so huge. And I think when we are starting these side hustles, it just seems like you just need an extra back. Is that you have families relying on you, you have people who get food on their table because you have created employment. Like it's bigger than what you're thinking at first. There are few who have the privilege to start their side hustles with a clear vision, a way forward, and they have like this whole huge things that they're thinking. But I'll speak, for example, like for ladies, it's usually flexibility. You to manage your own time. I mean, my baby is sick and I'm not going to be worried to tell my boss that I won't be at the hospital. But also extra income. But it's bigger than that. I think it's important for us to take it serious and also just bring like the skills you have learned in formal employment, where you have somebody supervising you, you have the supervisor of the supervisor, you have the CEO. Just bring those elements into your business. And I'm not saying hire a CEO or do this, but have the systems that as on else, if we are an events and a planning and decorating company, what systems are in play there? How do we pay our workers? So even if it's me doing it, I need to be accountable to somebody or to a certain book. Yeah. Those systems are very important for people to co-opt in their side hustle, because then you don't know where you're headed to. Yeah, when I was starting my business, all I needed to do was be incorporated and have clients. But now you know you need to bid. You need to become more relevant. As you're networking and meeting different people, you're pushed in certain rooms that you are not ready for. Yeah.
That's a good way to say it, Sharon. And I know many people will be inspired by your story. Tell us a bit about how you started your side hustle. Why was it necessary for you to start your side hustle, and how side hustling at the moment?
Okay, so for me, I think side hustling started really early.
Yeah.
Even just as I was in secondary school, I had lost my mother at a very tender age, and we just had our dad. After that, he'd never remarried.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the second, but I think responsibility being the only girl,
yeah.
I just felt like the firstborn.
Okay.
You're the nurturer in the home because your mom is not there. So even the older one and the last one, everybody's relying on you, including your dad, who has no idea of what to do with you. He loves you, but he doesn't know how to even raise you. 11 years old.
Yeah.
You're just standing into this woman, you don't even know what's going on.
That's tough.
Very tough. But I think it also helped me stop being daddy's girl, because that's what I was.
Yeah.
He walks into the room, have you eaten? Has my girl eaten? Has this? That was the world I was used to.
Yeah.
So that already just drove me into this place of, I am now their mother. I am now the nurturer. I need to be there for these boys.
Yeah.
So I think in my mind that had already, I would have terrible test with planning for
in Mozambique and in other parts of the continent, of course in Nairobi. Our friends in Nairobi are also watching this morning. But most important, when we're talking about a side hustle, we're talking about a lot of things. We're getting really real. It's no longer about the NASDAQ and you know, the stock markets, whatever. It's
No.
really about,
It's real.
it's real, it's about life. The fact that you might come back one morning and you don't have a job.
Yeah.
And you have a family to feed.
And a husband to support.
Yes. So that's what we're talking about. And we're getting to that nitty gritty. We're going for a quick commercial break. We're driving your business. Windy and cold morning here in Kampala, but we're not complaining. You know, in Uganda, November to December, October, November, and December are cold months, and many people are like, "Oh, it's too cold outside." I absolutely love this weather. It's good for business. It's good for business. So you're tuned into Smart24 Television, where we believe in driving your business. This is Business Insight. It's an interview segment of the morning program. We bring you business experts who are able you and help you navigate through the business terrain so that you can make that sound business solution. Today we're talking about your side hustle, how to track it, whether to start or not, by the way, how to track it, and most importantly, how to track the finances that you get from your side hustle, and why it's important and why you must become your own boss one day. How important is it to be your own boss, Sharon?
Oh my, very.
You know, because years ago it was like, no, someone else has to take the responsibility. I mean, someone else more gutsy can take over the responsibility.
So you have the room to be fluid and just
you have the room to be just there. But post-COVID, how important is it to have your own initiative, to have your
it's very important, and like I said earlier, you don't know how many people rely on you to just even have food on the table.
Yeah.
time is for you to know that this plan is now mature for for inception. But those are very few people who think like that. But so I'll give the crude science to know that it's time for you to get really, really into your business. For those who start and they're not fully in their businesses, the moment you are robbed, it's the time to get more involved in your business, because in most cases we are robbed because your employees are able to see loopholes. When your customer base is not growing, it's time for you to get involved. It means they don't feel your seriousness to the business. You're not felt in the business, because as a vision bearer, you need to plan time for your business. And then also, if you have been planning, say, for a certain schedule of your time, and you say that in the next 3 years, I need to be able to do this and this and this. Like I said, employee money, that salary you're earning, the best way to multiply it is in business. Yeah, and then don't go blindly. I think it's important for us to also ask for advice. Now there are very many financial experts that are not really very pricey. So ask and let somebody direct you in a certain direction. Don't pay school fees like some of us did. Where your first deal, you're losing money, you're quoting wrong, and people say, that's school fees. Ugandans, we have a school fees. You just pay school fees and make all the mistakes. But I think it's also wrong, because then it fatigues those who don't have the drive. Some people are not born for that kind of, stress. So I think it's just important to also be able to plan. But when to start, I just keep telling you, just start now. You need to start now. Even when you're employed, just start. Because then your journey of the business will show you. You first start by being just incorporated. You have 1-2 clients. Then the 2 clients will multiply into, say, 10. And then they keep giving you referrals as you learn to also market your business better, brand yourself, just put your products in different ways. And all those are things we learn, along the journey. The legal structure, important, and we ignore it until you start being paid. Then oh my God, contracts are important. With my quotations, my invoices, planning for taxes. You remain under wraps, and it seems okay. You've made some money, it's on your account, and you move. There are many classes going around in churches, in different business groups like networking groups. There are many places that people can learn how to manage your finances well, and you don't really pay so much. Things like get your 30%, 10% is your tithe for those who are religious, and say another 10% is for this, but make sure 30% is kept.
You know what I actually learned, the tithing, regardless of it being a biblical principle, it's actually a business principle as well.
True.
You find big companies like Colgate-Palmolive, for example, they tithe. Because I heard, I was actually watching an interview where the CEO actually talked about it.
A
particular
percentage. From the divar. So go ahead. So for you to be able to take things like that, like the legal structure, just do things right. The taxes, plan for them. People have even tax accounts, so that when you are a knocks on your door or some authority, you're not getting from the business. You have been buffering the 10% for taxes. Until we make sense of it, pick from that account. And it has served people's businesses, even throughout COVID. And then also your location, your infrastructure, operations. Because usually businesses fail because of that. That's how they start to dupe you. That's how your employees start to rob you, because you don't have an idea even how much. There are no systems properly set. So for example, in my business, up to now, I still have the biggest template for invoices that I made, for quotations that I made into the business. I have that template. You can only add or remove. It's guided. So I can already tell that an event of 250 guests, it can't be less than this money. Employees need to know that you know. But I
think that is a very good quote. I think employees need
to know that you know.
They need to know you're the boss.
They need to know that this one, you go slow, you set the table, and it's not right, she's going to fix it herself. Or that is not done properly, she's going to come and do it herself. You need to really be involved. Now, I remember I mentioned earlier, going back into employment when I ran broke, the fear of no money.
Just who are watching watching this morning, there's no shame in going broke. There's no shame in having to start over. There's no shame in having what you have to do, so long as you have business integrity, even if your payments are late. And I'm just talking, especially in this environment now, post-COVID, a lot of payments are late. A lot of payments are delayed. It doesn't mean that person is not a person of integrity. It doesn't mean that person can't actually make ends meet. It means that if you stand by those principles, payments will be made when the funds are available.
So how do you live within that?
How do you live within that time? And most importantly, again, it's important for who you work with. Work with people who are understanding.
Exactly.
Don't work with people who are doing you a favor. That's why your business network is very important. Work with people who have your back, if I can say so, and work with people who can understand and who can meet you halfway.
Very true.
Go ahead.
So you see how we usually take things like hiring and training employees for granted. Until you're in such crises. You know, like I had to teach, for example, for us in our kind of business, we employ like the lowest level. Like you don't have to be a graduate to come put table linen on a table. Yeah, but it's labor intensive. You could work from Thursday till Sunday. Your family sees you on Sunday. You've been away for about 4 days. So I had to teach them to save, and then you're getting a weekly pay. So it means if you don't have the culture of saving at the end of the month, you have nothing. So we had to teach them, you know, save a little money. Can I save for you? You know, things like that. And I think right now we are trying to even take it a notch higher. Where it's not in my control also as your CEO or as your boss, but just to hand it over to other agencies that maybe will even do it better than me. You know, we've introduced them to things like trust funds. And it's a small amount, but I keep telling people, however small, it means something. Because at times you keep thinking, let me Well, personal branding is very important.
Personal branding is very important.
Personal branding.
And Sharon, and most importantly for people who are watching this program this morning, we have various people who are watching, like I said, from various spheres. But today we're talking specifically to people who might be sitting in their office. You know, time comes usually in when you have to leave the dance floor.
Yes. Your time is up.
Your time is up. You know, if you're employed, you know, there's a great saying that every time you get employed and you walk in the door, just look for the exit. Exactly. So if it doesn't have your name at the end of it, you just know that you're there for a particular time. Unless the people or unless the owners provide you equity, that is a different thing altogether. But now, there are people who are working, maybe they're working in government, maybe they're working in, pensionable jobs, and in a position for a long time.
Yeah.
And that position has become their home.
Yeah.
And then one day they wake up, and that is not the reality. The economy is not doing well. Yeah, the company has to downsize. Yeah.
There's a time in MTN they actually went through something like that.
They went. I remember.
Yeah, they were paying people to leave.
You're paying people to leave,
so
but you're lucky that in some organizations they pay you to leave.
Exactly.
There's some organizations where they don't pay you at all.
But even some were advised to do so, and they refused.
And they refused. Yeah.
And they stayed there. Then they were fired like 3 months after.
So what we're talking about is that ultimate exit. Are you prepared? For a person who's watching this morning, perhaps you've had a job of 9 to 5 for numerous years, and that has never crossed your mind. So my question to you, Sharon, is how does a person actually prepare themselves for that next phase in their lives? How do they keep moving?
So we've been saying so much about the side hustle.
Yeah.
Not everybody's born to hustle. Some people just can hustle. But then we also have those who are brilliant minds. They think very well. So if you've been able to hold a position for that long, then it means you're good at something in that role. Yeah. So like I said earlier, personal branding. When your personal branding is not just how you look and how, but who are you? What defines you? For example, for me, when I'm talking about myself, I did IT.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're an IT expert.
I'm an IT expert. Okay. I don't like systems administration, but I can organize IT conferences. It will be relevant. I will know what the tech people want to see, to feel. I know how tech people can be too busy to go in the nitty-gritties of having minutes and repertorying and what. So when I'm organizing events like that, I come with an edge on it because you know how tech people think. So I will organize their events tech ready, for example. Yeah. So that's me evaluating myself. So if you're in formal employment and you've been in a position for long, there is something you're good at.
There's something you're good at.
I've had sales and marketing consultants, law consultants, somebody just an amazing lawyer. You've been working, I don't know where for long, and you have your own firm. You don't even need office. You just need your brilliant brain and just those boards of positions of who are your networks. So maybe you could capitalize on that. Your knowledge, so that your side hustle becomes what you're already good at. And let me tell you, people who do that very well, research has it, they always come back in those because you're good at your job. It's just that it's time to leave.
Yeah, I think that's a very good tip. That's a very good tip. And I think when I think you always have to plan for the future. You have to always be one step forward. You have to have that ability.
Don't get too comfortable.
You don't get too comfortable. You always have to be that. You always have to have that ability to metamorphosize, become something else, and keep on moving.
Yeah, with a smile.
With a smile.
Yeah, like I said, life is hard. No one is going to hand you a silver. Don't go wallowing that you've been fired. All these guys want me to leave. Younger people have come. I'm no longer relevant. It doesn't matter. Your brain will forever be
your
relevant.
brain.
Yeah. Yourself.
Yeah.
One door closes, the other one is opening. But are you ready for that opportunity anyway?
I think that's a very, very good tip this morning. If you're perhaps in an office and you're wondering about the next steps, because you should plan your life every single 5 years, or perhaps every single day, or however you do it.
But Jen, I would also want to add, if you're in employment, it's also a good time for you to try out the businesses. Fail when you're still employed. Fail. Feel free.
This is important.
Just keep failing. Start. If it's making juice and it's failing, let it fail. Start. So focus on growing your business, growing yourself as a business owner so that you don't become a liability to the business, but you remain an asset that is always adding on, adding on, adding on. It's either you're adding on products, you're adding on finances, you're adding on. So even as you receive, you remain an asset. You need to be the biggest asset for your business and not a liability. Yeah.
That's a good tip.
Thank you.
You need to be an asset for your business. You have to remain an asset for your business and certainly not that liability. Yeah. So with that quote, we have to say adieu, bid you adieu. I have to thank my guest, Sharon Ojuia, for being in studio with
pronounce it well.
Sharon Ojuia for being in studio with me this morning. We've been talking about that niggling subject. Perhaps you're watching this morning and you're wondering, well, I'm a CEO of this company, I don't own the company, and I don't have anything of my own. And perhaps the days in your contract are running over. The question is, what is your next step? It's during this time period when you're secure that you should be having an erstwhile side business and improving that skill that you've learned or acquired during the time on the job. So today we've been very real. We've been bare knuckle business and telling you things as it is. You're tuned into Smart24 Television, where we believe in driving business. We drive you to a business solution of your choice that you're able to make a return on investment on your business. On behalf of Sharon Ojuia and myself, Jane Kasumba, and Mr. Bim Issa, who is a producer of this program, and so many others, of the presenters who've been with you since 7 a.m. in the morning, I have to bid you adieu and say thank you so much for watching. And remember to stay tuned because we're driving your business.